Little backstory. There's a group of us that eat breakfast at the local diner, and this fellow is 80 years old, and we like to prank each other. So about a year ago, he went to riding horses, and he parked this truck, and on the way back, or when he came back and picked it up, there was a misfire on this truck on cylinder number 4, which is over here. Well, I found that someone had pulled the spark plug wire off of the spark plug and had just set it up on top of there. Nobody will own up to it, but we know it was a prank. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. Hey. Pollen fertilizer. Today we have a comeback. This red GMC here was here last week, broke down for the customer. He dropped it off and said fix it. Told me that I gotta go get the key. I'll explain to you guys what's going on with that thing as I go get the key. How's that sound? Anyway, he told me that the thing doesn't have any accelerator pedal and it felt like it was misfiring. So scanned it for codes and figured out that it had a throttle position sensor fault, which is 9 times out of 10 the throttle body on those trucks. And so I put a new throttle body on it. It also had a random misfire code, but I thought, well, maybe that had to do with the we got all kinds of keys in here. Come on. Seriously? And it had all kinds of, or it had random misfire codes, P0300. But I thought, well, maybe that's to do with our throttle body. Wasn't quite sure. Maybe it picked up some random misfire codes. Put a new throttle body on it, and I drove it 10 miles, I believe it was, and nothing. Worked just fine. Never misfired, never missed a lick. He takes it, and of course, doesn't even get 5 miles down the road Friday night, and it starts misfiring. He said now the throttle body, or the throttle, is still working. He said that's working great, but he said the misfire is back. So we're going to try and get this thing figured out. Hopefully it'll misfire for us. So stay tuned. We'll get my scan tool plugged in, get it started, and take it on a test drive. Start, you heifer. Okay, so we have a engine misfire detected, and I don't understand why we can't have which cylinder is misfiring. So I guess we need to figure that out ourselves, huh? But it is fuel trim cylinder bank 1, fuel trim cylinder balance bank 1. That came on along with the random misfire because I had all of this cleared out. So fortunately, our throttle position sensor fault did not come back, but our misfire did. So I say this is a comeback, but in my defense, and maybe I'm trying to defend myself, I felt like I did my due diligence by taking it on a 10-mile test drive. And I didn't baby the thing either. I tried to make sure that I thought I adequately tested it. And so I felt like I did my due diligence, but it just never acted up for me. So let's get this thing going down the road. It's not misfiring currently. Actually, let's go into live data. Let's just see if we can find some misfire data, and we'll take this thing on a test drive. Well, never mind. Right there. Misfire history is 3. Let's just take it on a test drive, and I want to see if I can get it to do that. But that's why we have bank 1. Cylinder 3 is on bank 1, because on this one it's 1357 and 2468 on bank 2. So we know that this is probably correct, but I want to see it for myself. I want to see it act up for myself. And then we want to see if we can figure out which or what is going on here. Now, a little backstory on this thing, and I might actually check this. You know what? I might just actually check this out right here. Let's back into the drive here. I want to check something because little backstory. There's a group of us that eat breakfast at the local diner, and this fellow is 80 years old, and we like to prank each other. So about a year ago, he went to riding horses, and he parked this truck, and on the way back, or when he came back and picked it up, there was a misfire on this truck on cylinder number 4, which is over here. Well, I found that someone had pulled the spark plug wire off of the spark plug and had just set it up on top of there. Nobody will own up to it, but we know it was a prank. We tried telling him it was just a squirrel that did it. So yeah, you know, gotta have some fun. So let's just make sure that that didn't happen here, because he was at the diner when this started misfiring like this. So let's just see if that's the case again. Hang on, I'm gonna get you guys set up here. So cylinder number 3 is gonna be the second one from the front on the driver's side. Okay, well, I don't think anybody pulled a prank on him this time. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and take it on a test drive. If it starts to misfire, I'll bring you guys back. All right, folks, I'm bringing you back because I've been able to get it to misfire slightly by driving about 50 miles an hour and putting it under a little bit of a load, and we see that cylinder number 3, well, can't see it now because it's not doing it, of course. Yep, there it goes, just a little bit. Now, a while ago, it had up to 15 counts on cylinder number 3, and it's the only one that'll do it. So I think what I want to do is, now that I know that I can duplicate the problem, I want to go back and I'm going to pull the spark plug out of cylinder number 3. We're going to see what that one looks like. If it's not anything obvious, then we're going to switch the spark plug between 3 and 1, and then we'll see if the misfire follows the spark plug. Now, the reason I don't want to just throw new spark plugs in this thing, you know, without adequately testing this thing, because I want to be able to make sure I can duplicate the problem, because we always want to confirm our fix. As Dave's Auto Center says, always confirm your fix. And so figure out what caused the problem, fix it, confirm the fix. So that's what we want to do. So let's go back, pull the spark plug, which will be nice and hot now. But we'll pull the spark plug and we'll see what it looks like. If there's an obvious crack in the spark plug, then we know that we have a problem with the spark plug. Now, if it doesn't have, then we're going to switch the spark plugs from 1 to 3. We'll see if our misfire follows the spark plug. If it does not, then we need to go with something, some more testing. So it's a quick, easy way to tell. I'll bring you back when we get back to the shop. Well, we didn't even swap out the spark plugs because I pulled number 3 out of there, and there we go. There is 0 tip on that thing. It's supposed to look a little more like this one here, and even that one's gapped pretty good. So we just put all new spark plugs in it, and we're gonna go test it out now. So let's get all of our tools out of here and we'll see how she runs. But my guess is this is going to be a simple fix, and won't take much to repair. starting the engine. But I also just seen that F-150 there. I think the front wheel is turned out. Like there might be a wheel bearing that went out. Let's take a look at that. Hi, buddy. Maybe not. Nah, it looks okay. Just seen it in the mirror and it looked like it was really leaned. Okay, let's take this thing on a drive and let's see what we find. I can already tell it seems to idle a little smoother, so hopefully, I mean, it definitely can't be any worse. If you remember, it was at 50 to 55 miles an hour under a load. Slow acceleration when we would notice the misfire, so we're gonna see if we can duplicate that issue, and we'll take it on a pretty extensive test drive because I don't want to have this one come back on us. Let's put it down here where we can see something. 0 misfires as of yet. It definitely has more power than what it did. 0. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and continue driving. I'm gonna take it on about a 10-mile test drive and we'll see what happens. I'll bring you guys back at the end of the test drive and I'll let you know what the conclusion was of the test drive. All right, well, we've only went about 5 or 6 miles and we have had 0 misfires. Nothing whatsoever. And I have duplicated the circumstances around the misfire previously and no misfires. So I'm going to call this one repaired with what I've seen and with the way it runs now versus the way it ran before. We're going to call this one fixed. So we're going to head back to the shop. I got plenty of other things to do and we're going to get started on those, but I want you guys to go and have yourselves a wonderful day. Don't forget to tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this video if this was helpful. So we'll stop it right here and end this video, but we'll hopefully see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye. And just in case you're wondering, yes, we will clear the check engine light.